Should I listen to my feelings or what's inside my head? Should I act on what's inside my heart or analyze it instead? It's hard to know the answers. Guess I never learned the rules through the things they never teach in school.
Right from wrong,
wrong from right,
or neither here nor there.
This is a short reading about the relationship between my father and me. I only started to know my father after his first heart attack when he was 48 while I was in high school. After his convalescence, he returned to work to the only job he ever held, driving a newspaper truck at night. He needed a helper to load his truck and asked if I would do it because his doctor forbade him from picking up and throwing the heavy bundles of newspapers. I welcomed the opportunity, even though it meant a long trolley car and subway ride to and from the city on Saturday nights. I was struck by the contrast between my father at home and at work. At home, he was sullen, depressed, and hostile toward his children. At work, he was fun and affectionate toward me, and even joined in telling dirty jokes with the other men. It dawned on me that all the men were probably like my father when at home. The Jewish fathers were transformed at night into rather decent men when their wives weren't around to humiliate them. My father became deeply depressed during my freshman year in college. I think he was unable to stop worrying about his damaged heart. Returning from school during some holiday period, I sensed that something was wrong. I walked through the open bathroom door and saw my father standing before the mirror, shaving cream on his face and the safety razor frozen in the air. When he saw me, he started to cry, something I had never witnessed before. I walked over to him, unsure of what to say or do. He put his arms around my neck and his head on my shoulders and held me tight. "I love you very much," he said, as the shaving cream slid from his face to mine. "I love you too, Daddy." I was moved and terrified, wishing that time would stop so that I could feel the warmth of his love forever. The shaving cream on both our faces provided the humor with which to diffuse the intensity of the moment. My father laughed at it, wiped it off my face, turned back toward the mirror, and started to shave. We never discussed what had transpired or why. The language of intimacy was foreign in my home. I was in scout camp a few months later when the call arrived announcing that he had died. Thankfully, my mother asked if the casket be closed. At the grave, relatives whisked us away before the coffin was lowered into the ground, while family members and friends threw shovels of earth upon the coffin. I remained emotionally cold toward my father's death. Many years later, my mother remarried. After 5 years, his sister died. After the service, the casket was lowered and the family lined up for the traditional shoveling. I got online and found myself shoulder to shoulder with this group of people with whom I had nothing in common. When the shovel was finally handed to me, I thought, what the fuck am I doing here? But I started to cry as I heard the dirt land on the coffin below me. The person behind me, noticing the redness in my eyes as I handed him the shovel, said, "Gee, I didn't know she meant so much to you."
Still I got all these questions that could fill an overflowing